emotional signature of gratitude is when you're getting something or receiving something or something has already happened for you, you feel gratitude. So then if you're feeling gratitude for your future before it's happened, your body, as the unconscious mind, is believing that that future reality is happening in the present moment. And we only accept, believe, and surrender to the thoughts equal to our emotional state. And we never accept, believe, and surrender to any thoughts that are not equal to our emotional state. You could say, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy with the 5% of your conscious mind, and it's never going to pass your brainstem because your body's saying, no, you're not, no, you're not, you're miserable, you're unhappy. So that when a person starts elevating their emotional state, feeling gratitude because they can, then that thought will begin to make it right into their body because their body's believing it's happened already. And so then we've done extensive research on gratitude. In 4 days, your immune system can strengthen by 50% just for 10 minutes a day, a few times a day, just feeling gratitude. So the worst thing that could happen to you by feeling gratitude every day is that you'll heal. Decide what you want your future to look like. Write it down. Take some time and write down what you want a future to look like. And every single day, keep your conscious mind on that future. If you keep doing that over and over again, your subconscious mind will take you right there. It's not that hard. The hardest part of this is making time to do it. Really, just making time to do it. I'm doing a team workshop in Mexico City this weekend on Friday before I do an event with Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden on Saturday and Sunday. But teens are just, this is a great time for the teenage and young children paradigm to shift because, first of all, the best thing you can do for your kids is be the example of everything you want them to be, because children don't learn by what you say, although to some degree they do. They model behavior because of mirror neurons. They're empathy neurons. They're going to become you by observing you. So be the example for your children so that they can begin to emulate you as a person. The next thing is to show them in small and subtle ways that emotions then keep us connected to their past, and teach them how to shorten their emotional reactions to certain things. Teach them how to change their state. If you do that now, that'll become a skill or a habit that they'll use later on in their life. Never, ever try to reason with your child when they're emotional. Nobody wants to be reasoned with when they're emotional. They want to be left alone. No new information can enter the nervous system that is not equal to the emotional state. Put your children to bed every night and ask them what was the greatest thing they learned, what is the greatest thing they're working on, and tell them what you're working on with yourself and in your life. And make sure that you ask them truly, hey, how did you do today? How did you feel like you did today? And if they say, I didn't do very well today, ask them why. And then you'll say, yeah, I saw you. You weren't sharing very well today. Well, let's just talk about the next time it happens. The next time it happens, how could we do it differently? And have them literally work with you on creating another way to do it. You're installing circuitry in their brain, and then put them to bed and tell them a story about a little girl or a little boy that was in this little family and that they had a problem sharing, and all of a sudden they shared and they felt really amazing. And then your child will begin to begin to associate a new way of being. And allegory is a great way to teach our children to become something. Become the scientist in your life and measure the effects of you at cause. You already know how to do this. Just take time every single day and disconnect from the outer world, your environment. Get beyond your emotions and habits. Get beyond your body and forget about time and connect to that field of information where we all create from. And if you keep doing that over and over again, you'll learn things about yourself that you would have never learned before and be defined by a vision of the future. Literally tell the story of your future more than you tell the story of your past, because it's so much easier to forget our vision of our future than to remember it. But if you keep remembering it, sooner or later you're going to start to see the fruits of all your efforts.
My God, we're programmable human beings. Yeah. If my doctor's enthusiastic about a new drug, I'm going to be enthusiastic too. But you know that blue pills work better than red pills. We know that if you name a drug that a person can't pronounce, they're going to be intimidated by the drug and they're going to surrender to it. If you charge more for the drug, it's going to work better. We would just know these things, so there's programmable things that are evident. But then, there are some very hard science things as well. Placebo works really well for pain. Placebo works really well for anxiety. Placebo works very well for inflammation. Placebo works very well for well-being. We know that. But in doing the research that we did and understanding how the placebo works and then teaching it, I am very pleasantly surprised at the effects that we produced that were way outside of what I expected. So the person's belief then that they could get better from their condition has added to the effect that they got better from their condition. So to me, there's so much of it that is belief. And when do I believe that germs create disease? Hardly. If I believe that germs create disease and I was nervous about germs everywhere, in the crazy clinic that I used to be in quite a bit, but we have and run, with hundreds and hundreds of people are moving through there, there's snot flying everywhere. If I believed in germs, I would be sick every day. I just don't believe that I'm susceptible to germs and that I need a flu shot. I don't believe that. I just don't. And I've never had a flu shot and I very rarely get sick, but that's my belief. But some people believe that they need the flu shot. But no, it's programmed for a lot of people to think if they don't get the flu shot, they're going to get sick. So you watch a television commercial, and television commercials pay attention. They're dreams. Pay attention. They're going to create some weird, dreamy state. There's going to be some emotion that's created, and the moment the emotion's created, there's going to be a brand or a symbol. That's called programming. And so people stare into a tube and they are in trance and their brain's in alpha and they're accepting all of this information, and they have a headache, and the first thing they do is they think of what's going to take their headache away based on what they've been exposed to. Now you would say that's free will. That's not free will. That's informed choice based on what you know. Free will is based on the unknown. I do suspect certain things. I mean, I know that virus software companies have been caught creating viruses. I know that there's self-interests in things. Would I expose myself to a potential agent if there's no epidemic? Probably not. I just have been so involved in research that I question the studies. 18 out of 36 studies are published that show the effects, and the other 18 that show the harm aren't published. Where do they go? I just question the true intent, and I just don't trust the process as well as it's being represented. Now, does it mean then that I don't think that people should be immunized or they shouldn't get vaccines? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that in a community where there is poor water, poor food, weak immune systems, rampant poverty, high stress hormones, those people are really susceptible to a lot of things. And so I do see there's certain ways to help them. But the hype in the media around certain things that has to do with scarcity and fear and what that does, I question that, and then I question the self-interests that go along with the pharmaceutical companies. And certain pharmaceutical companies have been caught putting the very agents in their vaccines. They've been caught 40,000 samples with the very agent that they were using to take away or to reduce is an active agent right in it. So you won't hear Baxter Labs talk about that, but if you look, you'll find it. So I just don't have the ability right now to say 100% of it is good. Gotcha. And I don't have I'm not the type of person who's a conspiracy theorist either. But I do question reality.
Yeah.
And I do question what is done for self-interest and for profits. And I do question, and you will see it, by the way, exposed more and more, that a lot of research has been suppressed, and that's